Hey Cavernites, this is Jono, and today we're going to be taking a first look at Ziggurat, which is a game that just came out recently to Steam Early Access. And typically, in the past, I've done videos where I've done more of like a scripted approach to talking about a game, but this time around, I'm going to play and I'm going to talk about it as I play. Before, I actually did record my first time playing it, and I was kind of giving my thoughts as I played, but I realized I kind of wanted to know a bit more about it before I hopped in, so that way I could explain further my thoughts and my somewhat of a review, I guess you could say, of what you can expect in the game right now. Anyway, we're just going to hop right in, and I'll kind of explain things as we go as I discover them. The first thing you do in this game is you're going to choose a character. Now, I don't want to spoil all these, you just saw that one there, but this is the first guy you'll unlock here. We'll start as the default character, which is the most balanced. And to give a general idea of what this game is exactly, the best way to describe it, I'd say, is if you've mixed, at least in my personal experience, I want to say it's like a mix, if you took Binding of Isaac and mixed it with, I guess you could say, Serious Sam, because it is a first-person shooter, as you can tell right here. You have a first-person view with me holding this wand here, and the wand is pretty much your default weapon. You can see in the lower right corner I have that purplish resource, which does regenerate. This is the weakest weapon you'll find in the game, and the first thing you do when you'll start a run in this is you'll grab it. You get a random weapon, and as you can see here I got the Fire Weaver Bomb, and there's 4 different types of weapons. The wand, of course, oops, I didn't mean to throw that, is your default weapon, and then you have 3 other types. This bomb is, I believe, one of the alchemical weapon types, but there's also spell books and staves, which you'll hopefully see later on. I'll probably find some. Anyway, when you've, just like a game like Binding of Isaac, it's more of a rogue-like. I don't want to say rogue-like because obviously it's strayed very far from what most would define as that type of game. But it still has that element of randomization every time you play and that aspect of permanent death, making you have to restart every time. So we're going to head into some of these randomized rooms. Let's see what we got. So I got lucky here. This item you see here, this is essentially the equivalent of finding the big key in a dungeon in The Legend of Zelda. This will allow you to go take on the final boss in this particular dungeon floor I'm on. Now I have 2 doors here, but what you'll see here is actually a cracked wall. Now, if you've played The Legend of Zelda, this would immediately make you think, okay, there's gotta be a secret on the other side of this door, which there definitely is. In this game, I do have these bombs. I don't think they'll immediately blow it up, as you can see, though. So you pretty much will want to just keep shooting at it with your default wand until it breaks, as you can see there. The reason you don't want to use this weapon, it might do more damage to the wall, but this has a limited mana resource, which can be refilled with gems, as you'll see later on. So in this is actually what would be called a secret room, and in this game, you see that crystal there? When I grab that, I'll get a random perk, which we'll see what we get. Increase your staff mana pool. I do not have a staff right now, but that could end up helping me out later on. And the other thing in this secret room is this, which is like a sneak peek at one of the developers' previous games they've made, which is kind of a neat little touch. So you can get a look into the history of the developer of this game. So we'll leave the secret room here. And when you first start playing, the weapons and that thing that increased my staff mana pool, it's called a perk card, I believe. You'll start off with a limited amount of those, but as you play, you'll end up unlocking more and more of these. So every time, more and more randomization comes into play, which is very nice. These barrels, you can break them, but I've noticed they typically only have a chance for something bad to come out of them, like that acid you see there. Oh, we got some carrots. These are pretty much the weakest enemy type in the game. They are kind of speedy though, so you gotta keep moving away as you shoot. These little yellow things are experience orbs. The potion is, of course, health. You can level up, and when you level up, you get to choose between 2 of those perk cards, which you saw earlier, that you can get out of a secret room. So I should be leveling up soon enough here, I'll be able to show that to you. I'm hoping maybe they add some items. Actually, this might have come from a barrel. It could have come from an enemy, though. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I'd like to see more come out of the barrels, possibly in the future. there has been a lot of discussion on the forums about different things to be added to the game, and one idea is to add gold, but it wouldn't be like a typical like currency like you'd see in other games. It would be just for points, but it would just be kind of fun just to see gold flying out of enemies and barrels and whatnot. One thing I do have to say about this game, it is a very pretty game. It looks great, and especially considering the size of the development team. I believe the team consists of 2 programmers and 2 artists. But yeah, the game, it runs very smoothly from my experience so far. It looks great. All the player models, the enemy models, I wanted to say, they look very good. It has this really clean, kind of somewhat cartoony but very stylized look, which I really like. So we have a new enemy type here, these, I guess there could be like sirens of some kind, I'm not sure, or banshees maybe would be the better term. We'll take them out. As you see, I'm running out of mana in my weapon here. I could use these. This bomb is actually, see how it leaves that fire on the bottom? That won't actually affect these enemies since they're flying. We almost have enough for a level up. After I kill this floating skeleton head dude, I might level up. Oh, really close. Alright, so we're gonna run into this enemy type here, which are these little demonic flamingo creatures that spit acid. I mean, I just got our first level up. But you can level up mid-game. It will pause it for you. So now I can choose between War Cry, recover a small amount of health at the beginning of each battle, or I can choose Black Orb, lose 50% of your health to increase the fire rate of all your attacks. So typically when you level up, you'll get a choice that's kind of just like a passive beneficial boost, and one that's kind of either a trade-off or just like a recovery item to get more health back or something. And there's actually even cards that allow you to choose 3 of these, so future level ups you'll have even more. But just so you know, this leveling system, it resets each run. There's no like permanent progression in this game for those looking for that, which I actually do like to see in this game because it kind of keeps the game challenging and fresh every time, rather than just making the early dungeons suddenly become super easy and you'll have to like get extremely far in order for it to feel challenging again. So we're just going to go with the first. I don't want to lose a bunch of my health, so we're just going to take the War Cry for now. Let's take out these acid-spitting bird creatures of some sort. Yep, we're got some carrots coming after us still too. One minor complaint, I guess, like it's in early access, so it's hard to complain. Like right now, this is honestly one of the most like complete, polished feeling games I've ever seen on early access. But the length there, you go through 5 floors, which depending on how much you rush through it, it could take you up to about, I guess, maybe 40 minutes or so. It would be less than an hour for each run. But I'd like to have it where, like after you defeat the final boss, you could keep going and it would just keep cycling through more and more randomized levels, which would make it a bit more fun for me at least. Especially when you get to, because sometimes you'll get to the final boss and you'll still have a lot of health left and you'll want to keep going to see how far you can get. Now what I just grabbed here are these little lore books, which are, you have a chance in finding these rooms. And you get experience when you grab these, and you get just a bit of lore. So that way, even finding these after you've found all the different lore books, it's still nice to find them just because you get that nice experience boost. The difficulty for me, I found, is at a pretty good level right now. There's no difficulty settings, but there are different characters that you'll unlock, and each character kind of shifts the difficulty in different directions, and just for depending on the playstyle you prefer. Now with this item I found, this room I found here is an item room. By pressing tab you can actually open a map, and it shows you all the rooms you've uncovered so far, and you have a key as to what each of them are. So we have, you can see the boss room, the key room, which we actually found really early on, as you saw earlier, the treasure room, which we're in right now. This hazard room is another type, and hazard rooms will be filled with a trap of some kind. So we'll go ahead and grab this item. You get a neat little cutscene. So we got experience orbs inside of this, but there can also be other things. You can find spells, mana gems, health. We got another level up, and as you can see, it says Y, because it does have controller support. I'm actually using a mouse and keyboard, but the drivers I'm using for my controller makes it think it's always plugged in, so it shows those instead, which is kind of annoying, but I figured out that I have to press U to level up. So our choices this time are Talented Alchemist. Your alchemy mana pool slowly regenerates over time. That is, I have an alchemy weapon right now, so that's actually very good. And I also have White Orb, which will just restore half of my max health points. So we're definitely going to go with this one. And as I said, those perk cards, you'll start off with a limited amount, but there are a ton of them that are unlockable. And you can view those in the main menu before you start. So now we have a regenerating resource here, as you can see, so I can freely use these and I don't have to worry too much about wasting them. This isn't my favorite alchemy weapon. There's another bomb that just does immediate explosion damage rather than this little pool of fire it leaves behind. So it is kind of frustrating to... Oh, we're getting some slowdown there, which is actually kind of odd. It could just be from me recording. It's actually the first time I've experienced a little choppiness like that. So it probably was from me from recording footage. For those wondering about the different settings in the game, actually we'll check those out really quick. In game you can change the language between English and Spanish. There's field of view as an option. You can clear your save data if you want. We won't be doing that right now though. And controls, it's pretty limited right now. You can change your sensitivity for either the mouse or the gamepad. You can invert the X and Y axis and turn vibration on or off. But I actually don't need on. I don't have a controller with vibration, and I'm not using it anyway. But yeah, you can't, right now there's no way to like change or view what the inputs are. That's something that I'm assuming will come later on. Then for graphics, we've got resolution options, quality, vertical sync, full screen anti-aliasing, ambient occlusion, motion blur, and water reflections. I actually probably could turn these on. I've heard they have said you could get some performance issues, so maybe I'll just keep them off for now. But that is an option there. Then sound settings are pretty limited. You can adjust the sound and music. So let's get back to gameplay now. Oh, and there is a sprint option. This is, right now I'm moving at the base speed, and the sprint is actually very fast in this game, which I actually like a lot, because it makes it easy to get around and backtrack if you want to go back and check something, or like find a area that you did not discover yet. So we have the boss room here, which we have uncovered pretty much every room, so we're going to head in and fight this boss. Bosses are randomized, unless it's the final boss. The final boss, from what I've seen, will always be the same, but on the way there I've always seemed to have gotten random bosses. This guy can be kind of annoying. He leaps around and creates these shockwaves, which you can jump over to avoid the damage of. But I thought I cheesed him for a second where he'd be stuck there, but he figured it out. He also does a conal attack with that hammer. And he'll summon... Most bosses, I've noticed, seem to summon different enemies. This guy's summoned some of these banshees, as you can see here. Actually taking quite a bit of damage from this guy, so I gotta... Oh gosh, gotta get ready to jump. There we go. Alchemy weapons are usually a bit risky to use, too, compared to the other ones, because you can actually damage yourself with them. Which I actually like. It kind of makes each weapon type feel different. I'm hoping in the next area I'll find the other types, because the staff is more of like, I guess you could say, an upgrade to the wand, and then the spells are a bit different too. It's, from what I've experienced, it's kind of like a close range AoE type weapon, like a shotgun, I guess you could say. So we got some points there, as you can see. That'll help you find your place in the leaderboard. Halls of Despair, floor 2. Up. We got another alchemy weapon. This is actually the one I like more, though. This is direct explosion damage. So we're gonna head this way. As you can see, these guys, these are kind of like a, I guess, a mini version of the boss we just fought. As you can see there, I am damaging myself because they are getting too close. That's why I don't always prefer to use alchemy weapons. It's the guys that are faster and chase after you, it's harder to use it on, so you have to switch back to your wand sometime to be careful. Drops on the ground do actually disappear if you don't grab them fast enough. You just saw right there, and I lost an experience orb. And there are some complaints about that, but it is a mechanic it's meant to be like that, because they want to keep you moving. They don't want people to find an area where it's just easy to stand back and just kill everything. They want you to keep moving and have a reason to like risk getting hit to try and go grab your items and experience. And there's actually perk cards that make items take longer to disappear, so if you can go for those if that's a problem. Recover mana from knowledge gems. That could be helpful if I find more spells. Increased chance of getting mana gems or health gems. I would like health, so I don't want to give that up. Alright, so we have this is a hazard room. Our hazard in this room is lava. Some of the hazard rooms are actually kind of annoying. This one's cool because it brings an element of platforming. But some of them they're just like loaded with spike traps or stuff that you have to wait for, and it's kind of annoying more than a fun element. Alright, so we're going to run into a few new enemy types in this room. We're already getting some of the more challenging types. Those big golems, they shoot projectiles, but when you kill them they turn into smaller, fiery versions that are pretty fast, and they chase after you and they explode when they die. Then we have these floating guys up here which shoot these shock orbs. Let's get our items, some mana. Oh, I don't want to jump towards those. But as I said, in this game's current state, it's a really solid game. If this looks fun to you, I can easily recommend it, especially considering the fact that the developer is currently taking suggestions. It sounds like they're definitely going to be adding more features and for sure fixing up any bugs and stuff that people find. But yeah, it really does. It feels like a first-person Binding of Isaac. It might not have the same variety and like crazy drops and like combinations you could get to become extremely overpowered like in Binding of Isaac, but it does a pretty good job at replicating some of that feel. And runs they've ranged in fun factor for me. Sometimes you get really crazy runs, especially certain character classes you'll unlock are actually a lot of fun to play. Like, I don't want to spoil too much, but there is a class that excels with using other spells rather than the wand, and all of your mana actually regenerates over time. And I believe the attacks are actually enhanced too. Like, I think he's capable of attacking faster, so it makes it a lot more fun since you're able to use a variety of different abilities at all times rather than having to resort back to just the basic wand shots. Which I'm actually experiencing a bit of right now since I do have regenerating alchemy mana. In terms of environments, you'll see it does change up, but it's not as much as some might hope that it will. Like it's mostly going to feel like a dungeon all throughout the game, just like different looking ones. So maybe later on, we might see more environments. We'll have to see. Just depends kind of how popular the game gets and if the developer has the money to work on stuff like that, more content. There is a good variety of enemies, I'd say, though. they're like all the different enemies I've seen in this game, they each kind of have their own unique attack patterns. There's not just like reskins that all do the same thing. And there's a decent amount of bosses too. I can't say exactly how many I've run into. There's a pretty good amount though. I've run into at least, I guess, maybe 5 or 6 different. I believe there could be more than that though. It's hard to say. Each of those bosses did seem pretty unique besides the fact that it seemed like all of them just like summoned enemies. That seemed to be a common factor between all of them. But there was other unique attacks as well. So we have a secret here that we're going to go check out. Up, we have to defeat, we actually cannot leave. We got an invisible wall. Because we have to defeat minions. Alright, so somewhere we have someone hiding over here. Let's see. Up, there we go. One other complaint that some people I've noticed have said, and I can see it myself too, is that you do feel extremely short. It kind of feels like you're crawling because you just feel very low to the ground in the game. It's not a huge deal, but it's something maybe the developers might consider trying to make your viewpoint at least a bit higher. I don't know. Alright, so I can grab this, but as I said, this is once you grab it, you have it, and there's a chance that it may be something you don't want, but we're gonna just take the risk. Oh, I got another one of these. So these do stack. As you can see, it says 2 now because I have 2 of those. We get to look at another game they made called Avatar. I like that they actually say bad things about some of their own games too. They don't just make them sound like they were great products. Although I have to say, this game is very good, so I think there'll be a lot of good things that they will be saying about this game in their future game when they reference back at this one. Alright, so we're back in this hazard room. I gotta be careful here. Do not want to hop in lava. So let's see how fast my alchemy mana regenerates now. Pretty quickly. I mean, I probably won't be able to spam it. It'll eventually run out, but it's fast enough. One of the first classes you'll unlock is the Novice, I want to say it's called. In that class, all the other magic pools, like the alchemy, it makes them weaker, but it makes your wand attacks very strong, and they fire faster too. You have a fast fire rate, which actually can help make the game quite a bit easier, because you'll always have a decent attack in your arsenal at all times. Alright, so let's check out what our new upgrade options are really quick, and we can get Warcry again. Or Shuffle. I don't want to risk that because I pretty much have an infinite source of alchemy right now, and I could be giving that up. There's a chance. I wonder if it'll only cycle to another alchemy weapon though, because maybe I could get the gun, which I like as well. We're gonna try this. This will be fun. Oh, I got a staff. Oh well, it gives us something different to try out. As you can see, the staff is actually very similar to the wand, except it fires faster and looks a bit different. And it is more powerful. Okay, our downside now is that we do not have... Actually, I could go... I think I left an alchemy weapon in this room, so I can just go snag it. So yeah, here we go. Perfect. It's not my favorite alchemy weapon, but it's something. Alright, so we have our key here. Check for any secrets. Nope. Alright, so now we have to go find the boss room, which we can check our map really quick to see where we need to go. We have to go back to the hazard room. We have 2 paths that we can take there. controls do feel good, even for this like somewhat precise platforming. It does work very well. I haven't had any issues with me accidentally falling in the lava because the controls aren't good enough. Alright, so we have our boss room here. I think I'm going to go back and check and see what we have in here, though. Especially if you're going for trying to get up on the leaderboard, you really want to discover every last bit of the map. But also, I think time comes into play, too. So, you'd have to try and be quick as well. Okay, I didn't fight those guys to the best of my ability. Okay, I gotta be careful here. We're gonna have a lot of projectiles coming in. It'll be like a bullet hell shooter here. Oh gosh. Oh, ow. Not good. That's right, I'm using I forgot I have the other type of grenade now. Oh, not good. May have not been the best idea to come this way. Taking a lot of damage here. Not quite skilled enough at the moment. Yeah, this game it's heavily skill-based. It's hard to get yourself so buffed and powerful to the point where you can just completely cheese everything. You really need to learn to like dodge attacks and deal with different types of enemies, so you may have to do some kiting, or you might need to use a specific type of weapon or spell to take out an enemy. Alright, so let's go take on this boss. We have a small health pool at the moment, but we'll see what we can do. We might die here. We're going to be fighting Queen Amanda the Forgotten Soul, which is a Banshee boss, which actually it looks very similar. Almost the same, actually. Possibly exactly the same as the other Banshees, but that brings a unique mechanic to this fight, in that she spawns a whole bunch of them. So it's hard to figure out exactly which one is her. She'll keep doing this throughout the fight. So you gotta try and find the one that doesn't die really quickly and just keep shooting it. These actually, I think they could do damage if I directly hit them. Yeah, they do. They just won't take damage from the fire on the ground. Yeah, she actually takes up quite a bit of damage because, I think I might have, oh no, I keep almost killing myself. Oh yeah, there we go. I'm gonna do at least one more run just to like show you a different character. I haven't unlocked all the characters yet. Oh, we unlocked an item. So yeah, like after you complete runs, you'll unlock more of these perk cards. And as you can see, I got the Archangel's Embrace. Shoots short-range projectiles with weird trajectories that can pierce through enemies. So that is a spellbook type, it looks like. So it'd be nice to try that out. Inner Wisdom, you will learn a new spell. That's cool. Alright, so before I go into another game, how about I show you the extras area? And here we have the armory, and this will pretty much show all the different equipment, spells, the perk cards, all that stuff. And as you can see, I still have a whole bunch unlocked, or a whole bunch locked here. To start, you'll pretty much have like a collection towards the top unlocked, and then you'll have to unlock everything else below that. There's also the library. This is where all the lore is that you'll find in those books that we saw, which I actually do have all of them. And the Hall of Fame is pretty much the leaderboards. And you can find myself here. I'm number 57 at the moment. May have credits. We'll go back. We're going to head back into another game. This time I'm going to show you another character. Kraz the Novice. This is the one character I was talking about that makes the wand more powerful, but it sacrifices the other. Oh, just the mana pools for other disciplines, alright. Simon the Sorcerer is the one I was really liking. Now his health pool is slashed in half, but he does, as you'll see, his spells regenerate mana and they're more powerful. So it's kind of an interesting trade-off, and one that I really like. So let's see what we have here. We got the Eagle Staff. I'm not sure what the exact properties of the Eagle Staff are, But their other interesting staff I have found before is one that shoots a huge line of projectiles, which is actually the one I probably like the most. It's good for dealing with large groups of enemies. As you can see, my mana is regenerating, so this makes it very easy. At least early on, it makes these levels pretty easy, just because you can easily dispose of all these enemies, and your mana will be back pretty quickly. Especially since you'll be grabbing the gems, giving you mana as well. So we got our portal key. But yeah, as you can see, I only have 50 health, so you have to be very careful when playing as this character. Which kind of makes it more difficult when it comes to grabbing your item drops, because you have to risk taking damage sometimes when running to grab it. But if you manage to level up enough and hang in there, you can get your health pool up. If you get lucky with perks too. So playing as this character, seems like it could potentially make you the most powerful, but you start off really fragile, so you have to be careful. We have some barrels here, but as I said, I never seem to get anything good out of these barrels. It seems like it'll either be nothing. Or this way, this could have been from the barrel. It's hard to say. It never seems worth it to break them, other than just for fun. Alright, so we're gonna head back here, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was a dead end. Unless there was a secret there I could have missed, but oh well. Oh, so we got a hazard room here. I didn't realize there was a hazard room. As you can see here, we have these little projectile shooting things on the wall that we have to watch out for. We have to wait for them to stop and then dash through. So this was a dead end. So we're going to head back into the hazard room. Dash through here. We better wait. Alright. Oh, we got to the boss room already. I'm going to go back and check this room. Oh, bad. Let's see what we got here. I need to be very careful here. I do not want to take any damage. Oh, I'm taking damage. Hopefully we can get a level up while we're in this room. That was my main reason for coming in here. I think that'll give us some health. Yep. And that is the end of this room too. Let's see what we get for our level up. Recover mana from knowledge gems. I don't need that at all, and then I can choose encounter treasure rooms more frequently, so I'll take that. Alright, so let's be careful when we come in here. Head into our first boss encounter for this run. Hopefully it's a different boss. Oh, we got the same one. I've noticed it's usually the first boss is either this guy or this other boss. I guess I won't spoil it in case we do run into it. As you can see, we're absolutely destroying him this time around. Since I pretty much have infinite ammo on this wand here. Or this staff, I guess I should say. Let's hop right in. We should get a new spell here, hopefully something new. Halls of Despair, floor 2. Oh, we got one of these grenades. It's not something new, but oh well. Grenades I don't know if I'll be using much, because as this class I'm so fragile that it's too risky to use those. You don't really want to be risking any damage being taken. When you first play, like, you may feel like the spell variety is a little bland, because there isn't much unlocked when you start, and that's the reason why. But as I've played more, I've found some more interesting items. We'll see how much that variety expands as I unlock more too. I imagine the developer will add more to that as well, though, later on. We got some lore. I might get a level up from this. Yep, I heard it. So we can do increase. Okay, I definitely do not need wand mana regeneration. More of it. Mana focus. Mana gems grant much more energy, but you get... I don't like either of these, but I'll just take the wand link, because the other one I'll be missing out on health. We got a door this way this time. Alright, so here's one of the hazard rooms I do not like, because you pretty much just have to keep waiting. Otherwise you risk taking damage. Which I might actually be able to jump between them diagonally without taking damage, but I don't know. Maybe I'll test that out when I have to come back in if I do. That guy seems to be stuck behind that pillar there. So we have nothing else to find in this room. So we'll head over here. Oh, we have a secret over there. I'm gonna try and jump between. Oh yeah, I can. So yeah, maybe I don't dislike this room as much then. Oh, never mind. I took damage there, so I don't know. You probably just have to be very careful. Alright, hope for some good. More wand managed regeneration. Cool. Gonna look at infinity danger. As you can see, they have talked a little bit bad about that game as well. Let's see. So as you can see, my wand mana regeneration is pretty fast now. Not that I need it. I'm gonna wait for these because I do not want to be taking any more damage. There we go. Get some health back. There we go. So now I gotta wait again. I have to get back to the other side of the room, so this will be kind of annoying. See if I can quickly dash between. Ow, yeah, see, it's too risky. It's not worth it trying. This is personally kind of annoying to me. It might not annoy others as much. I mean, I don't mind having these as traps, it's kind of annoying having an entire room filled with them. So you have to wait for them. Oh, back up. One thing I'd like to see is maybe like champion versions of enemies you run into. Just because there's a decent amount of variety in the game, but there's just like different things that could be added to make each run a bit more unique, I guess. Just like different events you could encounter. And as I've mentioned, they are taking suggestions on their forums. So if you do end up buying the game and there's things you'd like to see in it, don't be afraid of letting them know what you'd like to see. And anything you don't like about the game too. I'm sure they're willing to listen to anything that you think is wrong or right with the game. Alright, so now I need to go down over that way. I will definitely be reviewing this game in the future. I don't like reviewing early access games. I don't feel like it's fair to developers or potential buyers of the game to review it when it's in an early access state. And though, honestly, this does feel like it is pretty complete, so like I honestly could give a pretty fair review, I'd say. But I'm still going to wait until they do the full launch. That way I can get a new video up covering the game on the launch day. Oh, I missed out on some health there. Alright, so now we have a lot more rooms to go in. As you see, as you progress through floors, the floors do become larger and more larger. We have an item room. Hopefully it's not a staff. Oh, we got a spell book. Cool. Ooh, this is that new spell that we got too, the Archangel's Embrace. So let's try that out. That's interesting. Whoa. So it's kind of like a boomerang type spell? That's interesting. This is actually probably the most unique spell I've found so far. The other spell books I've used it fired out multiple projectiles, kind of like that. But they kind of just went straight out in a shotgun blast. So I look forward to trying this on an enemy. Wonder if they'll home in on enemies. We're going to fight the boss here. Guess we'll see how powerful it is. We got Poloko, Master Shaman, new boss type. So this guy's summoning carrots, as you can see. I'm not sure if he's hitting me or my own projectiles are coming back to hit me. Alright, let's switch over. I still think my staff is one of the better choices. It's a lot more accurate. Oh, he's already dead. So yeah, this class is very powerful, as I said. Makes it very easy to take out bosses sometimes. Got another level up. Really, another mana regeneration. I'm just going to take this learn a new spell, see what we get. So here's one of those shotgun blast types I was talking about. And there's this class you can shoot so fast that it's actually very powerful. I don't know what's better. You already got to see that though, so how about we switch to this. So we're heading to the, let's see, what floor are we on now? It's the 3rd floor? Yep, 3rd floor. And as I said, each run does have 5 total floors. So each run has a decent length to it. Some might be looking for a bit more, and hopefully in the future they will add maybe an endless mode of some sort, or just more floors in general. So this is another spellbook I just got, which is actually very similar to this one. This one fires faster, it seems. Yeah, this is a slower rate of fire, but as you can see, there's more projectiles in it. How will we go with this one? So I'm kind of like tossing these little chunks of ice at them, shards of ice. I don't think the elements actually come into play really, like, I don't think, like, enemies will have a weakness to ice more so than frost ever. That could be the case, but I'm not aware of it. I'm not sure if I'd like to see that come into play either. Maybe, I don't know, it's hard to say. Just because you could have bad luck and not actually get the right equipment needed to take out an enemy properly, which could be kind of annoying. Especially if they're trying to keep a competitive nature to it with the leaderboard. Although with these types of games, like randomization is a major part of it, so they could still bring that in, it would be fine. Ow. Yeah, enemy attack patterns are kind of, you have to learn them too. Like this guy, like as you can see, his fireballs are kind of erratic. Like you don't really know exactly where they're gonna go. Like so you can't just like run away and think you're gonna dodge them because he'll shoot them right at you. He kind of aims them in a way like where you'll try and dodge it and you'll end up running right into it. He never fires it straight at you. Actually, unless I stand right there, he does. Yeah, the AI is, it's not that dumb always. It knows that you might be trying to run away to dodge it and you'll end up getting hit. We're getting a room with a lot of carrots. I'm going to switch to this. These guys might actually kill me. Hopefully I get some potions out of this. There's one. Here's another one. Good. Alright, I could use a level up right now. I almost have enough for one. Are there any secrets in here? Nope. Oh, this will level us up. Knowledge gems. 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 Let's see, I could gamble. Ooh, this is... I don't have much health, so we're gonna take the gamble. Ooh, we got it, nice. So I'm at full health now. So we got a pretty large room here, so this could be a challenging one, we'll see. We got some of these birds. I don't think these are the acid-spitting ones, though. Although we do have a projectile shooter back here. He's a shaman, I believe. Lots of carrots. Whoa, lots of projectiles. A lot of okay, we might die in this room. This is a nasty room here. Oh, yeah. There we go. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to show you a little bit of this game. I ended up actually showing you a bit more than I thought I would, but I think I got the general idea across, like my thoughts of this game. I mean, it looks great. It's a lot of fun. It definitely feels like a final product in its current state, even though it is in early access. But I still hope to see some more additional content added to the game to give it a bit more variety. Anyway, it's only, I think I'll have the information in the description below, but I believe it is only about $12 on Steam, which isn't a bad price. And right now it is single player only, for those of you wondering if it has co-op. There's no multiplayer of any kind. And the developer has responded on the concept and idea of it, and it sounds like we won't see it in the game, but it's always a possibility. If it ends up becoming very successful and the developer has the time and money to be able to implement something like that, it could happen. Anyway, thanks for watching Cavernites, and I'll see you next time.